Okay, let's take a closer look at what we've heard about the latest round of negotiations. According to Al Jazeera sources, Israel has told mediators it rejects stopping the war and withdrawing its forces from Gaza, but Hamas is demanding a full ceasefire. Hamas also wants Palestinians to be able to return to northern Gaza, but Israel says it will only allow 2,000 displaced people a day to return. Now, at that rate, it would take more than 2 years for all displaced Palestinians to leave Rafah. Israel wants the release of Israeli captives of all categories in the first stage of the deal, but Hamas has indicated it will only release women and children. There are also differences over the release of Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences in Israeli jails. Well, we're now joined on the line by Bassem Naim, a member of the Hamas Political Bureau. First of all, that is what I outlined there. That is what we understand Israel's response to be. Is that how you understand things right now? And if so, just how big a setback is this to any sort of ceasefire deal?
Thank you very much. A lot of information distributed in the media this night and the day before are misleading informations from the Israeli side and unfortunately also from the American side, because in order to exercise the maximum pressure on the negotiators from the side of the resistance to yield to the Israeli will. We are negotiating for ending the aggression. We are negotiating for a ceasefire. We are negotiating to relieve the suffering of our people and to allow our people who has been forcefully under carpet bombardment left their houses to the south to return back to their houses. Mm-hmm. The Israelis are looking for the negotiations as according to one or in the context of one goal: hostages release. It is not about ending the war. It is not about withdrawal, total withdrawal of the forces from the Gaza Strip. And it is not about allowing the Palestinians to return back to their houses. Our proposal, which was a total comprehensive proposal, handed over to the mediators and also to the Americans, from the first moment they have praised it as a very positive, cooperative and constructive, and it is within the context of Paris 1 and Paris 2. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, despite Paris 1 and Paris 2 has been negotiated with the Israelis directly, which means what the Israelis today what they have told the negotiators today is much worse or beyond the Paris 1 and Paris 2. And therefore, the movement has clearly told the mediators that we cannot accept negotiating any prisoner deal unless the Israelis give the guarantees and the commitment guaranteed by the mediators and by the USA and UN and so on and so on.
Sorry,
that they are ready to a ceasefire, to a total withdrawal, and to the right to return to the displaced people.
So you say that this, from what you've heard from Israel, this is much worse than what was put out there when it came to the Paris talks. How much of a surprise is this then? Because certainly from the outside, at the very least, it seemed like real progress was being made here.
It is very shocking that the mediators have, unfortunately, accepted to convey or to hand over this Israeli ideas to our side, because based on Paris 1 and Paris 2 and the long talks and negotiations and contacts with the mediators and with the Americans, they have promised that at least these three demands of a total ceasefire, total withdrawal, and the return of our displaced people to their houses, there is a positive and there is an acceptance from the Israeli side. Now, suddenly, out of nothing, the Israelis are rejecting. Therefore, we believe that it is not about negotiations. It is not about a ceasefire. It is about Benjamin Netanyahu is using the negotiations as a cover and to gain more time to continue his plans by complete bombardment the rest of the Gaza Strip, including Rafah, and to release the tension inside Israel and also to release the international pressure during this Security Council discussion. Therefore, it is about Netanyahu rejection of ending this aggression despite of all pressures.
Well, given all of that, are you still going to sit down at the negotiating table and try and hash out a ceasefire here?
We have told the negotiators tonight that we are not ready to discuss any further pieces of proposals. We are in need for a total, comprehensive proposal responding to all our demands, and then we can be engaged in a prisoner deal to reach finally a total lasting ceasefire. So that, by the way, I have to tell you something that, and your audience, all the countries who have presented their readiness to participate in the rebuilding of Gaza Strip and the relief of the humanitarian catastrophe in the Gaza Strip, they have said we cannot do it unless we see a clear, total and comprehensive and lasting ceasefire.
Okay.
Therefore, without this, it means Gaza will not be rebuilt, Palestinians will not be able to return back to their houses.
OK, so just to clarify, at this point in time, these talks, these latest round of negotiations in Doha, they are over as of right now?
First of all, there are no negotiations because we can talk about talks between the Israelis and the mediators. There is no negotiations with us. We are not now engaged in a negotiation process with the Israelis indirectly through the mediators.
What would get you back to that table to speak with the mediators once again?
To get a total, comprehensive response about regarding our demands of the three main points: the total ceasefire, total withdrawal, and allowing all our people displaced from their houses to return back to their houses again.
How confident are you that you would be able to get those 3 points across the line at some point in time?
Unfortunately, it depends. We are ready to continue to express our steadfastness and resistance as long as Netanyahu wants, because we have no choice. But it depends on the mediators, on the superpower, the Americans and the Europeans, to exercise more pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu in order not to endanger not only the Palestinian situation, but also the whole region, and to undermine any chance for long-term stability, security, prosperity in the region.
OK, thank you so much. We do appreciate your time and talking us through all of this. That is Bassem Naim, a member of the Hamas Political Bureau. OK, well, joining me now right here is Luciano Zaccara. He's an associate professor at the Gulf Studies Centre. First of all, what is your response to Hamas there? Are you as surprised and taken aback as Bassem Naim appeared to be?
I'm not surprised because they keep saying the same that they were demanding since the very beginning of the negotiations, the stop of the ceasefire, immediate ceasefire, and the withdrawal of the Israeli forces, and the possibility of people in Gaza, in Rafah, to return to the northern Gaza. These are the same demands they have been doing since the very beginning. But according to what we heard, is the discussion about the ceasefire is not on the table on the Israeli side. And unfortunately, this has been the Israeli position since the very beginning as well. There is no discussion about ceasefire unless all the hostages are released. So we are in a dead point that is difficult to break.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought that a lot of this would have been discussed before both sides came to talk with the mediators, because we've known this for some time. Israel rejects stopping the war and withdrawing, and Hamas wants a full ceasefire. I mean, it seems quite strange at this point in time that both sides, knowing either one's positions, would even sit down with mediators.
Well, I assume that both are expecting someone to pressure the other side to reach, to close this gap that exists. I mean, we saw that at least United States has been pushing a little bit more, pressuring more Israel. But as far as there is no United Nations Security Council resolution supported by the U.S. asking or demanding for the immediate ceasefire, Israel will not feel the total pressure from the United States. So Israel can keep pushing the limits. I mean, they said that they agree with the United States proposal regarding how many people can exchange for the hostages, but it seems that the United States is not even requesting that. The United States requesting not to enter into Rafah, but they are not requesting them directly to stop the ceasefire.
Bassem Naim was saying there that he doesn't believe, Hamas does not believe at this point in time that Israel is acting in good faith, that this is not really about trying to come to any ceasefire agreement. This is about extending the war on Gaza. What did you make of that statement?
This is one of the interpretations we had, we said before. This could be just gaining time to push the limits for the operation, the military operation in Rafah, that they keep repeating that they will do regardless of any rejection from the United States or the international community, even Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations. So maybe this is a way to gain time rather than honestly following a negotiation that will finish with something that is tangible.
At the same time, we've heard the armed wing of Hamas say that a 34-year-old Israeli captive has died due to a lack of medicine and food. What did you make of that, and how much extra pressure do you think that that is going to put on Netanyahu, or is he immune to that sort of pressure at this point in time?
I don't think he ever cared that much about that. I mean, we keep seeing that there are weekly protests in Israel itself with family members of people that they are hostage. They are demanding Netanyahu to change. They are demanding even Netanyahu to step down. 6 months so far, and he hasn't changed his mind. So why one of the hostages dying would change his mind?
OK, we'll have to leave it there, but we do appreciate your time. Luciano Zakara, thank you.